The real reason why Meghan Markle was reading books at a children's hospital? Yet another misinformation campaign directed at Catherine, and the biggest display of hypocritical nonsense by the Ginger Winger yet. All this and more on tonight's show. Hello and welcome back, my Royal Rogues. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And yes, this is the first topic of tonight. I would like to know what to make of this. The first thing that I thought when I saw Meghan grabbing a book to read to children, regardless of where she was, well, my first thought was, I hope that is not the bench. And well, at least I can say that. It was not the bench. I'm not gonna lie. There's a nice video out there, more on that in a minute, which shows Meghan reading and acting and making voices and all this stuff to children. And I said, hey, this is interesting. This is why I have told you that you have to always think about who is behind the camera. Because this comes from my Body Language Guy channel when we are analyzing videos. And that is the first question that you should ask when you have a feeling that something is maybe suspicious. And that was one of the things that I noticed from this video. There were many different angles of Meghan doing this. Now, there was a nice production quality, very well recorded, nice audio as well. And I said, when has Meghan done this in other times? Because this felt a bit out of place for the Duchess. Now, don't get me wrong. This is traditional royal fare, but the problem is that Meghan is not a royal anymore. And my feeling upon watching this is that beyond doing something nice, because one has to acknowledge that reading books and acting those books to children at a hospital is a children's hospital is something nice. But this looks like plain old PR. Because I thought that she had left this a long time ago. And when was the last time we saw Meghan reading a book? Yes, when she made all those school children and parents sign an NDA so nobody would talk ill about her. Yeah, that is the kind of appearances that we got from Meghan. That's why my first reaction was justified. Why is Meghan acting like a royal now? If she has changed her brand to a homely cooking housewife who's gonna sell all this stuff with American Riviera Orchard brand. And of course, it's not that Meghan cannot do whatever she pleases. But from a public relations perspective, it sounds like out of place. Quite odd, if I might say. But not as odd as the fact that this supposed April Fool's joke that Prince William and Catherine have asked Harry and Meghan to bring their children to visit, well, it was not a joke after all. But I said that on yesterday's show. It was not a joke and it was for real. I don't know what kind of insiders are asked about these scoops. But I don't know, Rick. This sounds absolutely crazy. I know that so many things that can go through people's heads in situations like Catherine and William, but I'm absolutely sure that being near the Montecito duo is not one of their plans, like in the least. And we know that Harry and Meghan have made the royal family, and especially William and Catherine's lives miserable for so long. I don't think this is a thing. And I think this is more PR from you-know-who to make it seem that this connection with the royal family has grounds for something. And more proof that this is just PR is the piece that appeared on The Mirror. Prince William and Kate's olive branch was rejected by Meghan, says royal expert. How many times are they going to push the olive branch narrative? Say olive branch again. Say olive branch again. I dare you. I double dare you. And you know, that olive tree must be tired by this point. I mean, I did not sign up for this job. I'm tired, boss. Let me go. I have no branches left. And that connection to the royal family that has to be maintained at all costs is also pictured in Vogue magazine's obsession of republishing this article over and over again. Why is Meghan Markle being criticized for American Riviera Orchard when King Charles III has been selling his own jam for decades? They have published this 3 times, in March 16, in March 26, and in April 1. Why the insistence? We know that King Charles donates all those proceeds to charity, by the way, so there's no comparison here. But it's really odd that Vogue magazine, we know that are paid for Shields, work for the Montecito Duo's PR company as well. They're trying to maintain this connection with the royal family in any way. But at the same time, there is a connection to the royal family. There's this push to ridicule and tag as misinformation whatever comes from Buckingham Palace or from Kensington Palace. And proof of that is this. Why Kate Middleton's video sharing cancer diagnosis was flagged with editor's note by photo agency. And this is Getty Images doing this again. And what does Getty Images have to do with Catherine's private video that at the same time was recorded by the BBC and the BBC disclosed? I cannot believe that I'm defending the BBC, but here we are. It's like you have to stand united against a common enemy. And the BBC came forward saying that they had recorded this video. But that's the level of attacks that the royal family is facing right now, which is almost absurd given Prince Harry's concern over serious security risk after date of his UK return leaked. Who is gonna care about Harry is my question. Because that's something that I was wondering yesterday as I was looking at the royal family photos at Easter Sunday service. And you see everyone, including the king and the queen, just going out to people and shaking their hands. If the king and the queen can just meet people directly, shake their hands, what does Harry have to fear? Harry recognizes the potential risks to his security, especially considering the sensitive information he shared in his memoir. The source said that's why his team were so adamant about keeping his whereabouts on a need-to-know basis. Whenever he's appeared at events in the UK in the last few years, there have been last-minute announcements due to this very reason. It is not about the soldiers that he took out in Afghanistan. Nobody cares about that. Nobody believes that either way. Maybe it was on an Xbox, perhaps. But Rogues, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. And remember, much love and bliss.